Hey everyone, Modern31 here. Today I wanted to compare and discuss two free-to-play hero shooters that released recently here in the last month or so, Overwatch 2 and Gundam Evolution. I'm sure you've heard of at least one, if not both of those games. They're both very similar, but have a few distinct differences that make them honestly very different. So who knows, you might enjoy one more than the other. And I'll even tell you guys which one I'll be playing the most at the end of the video and which one I believe is most worth your time. Gundam Evolution and Overwatch 2 are both hero shooters with an emphasis on team play, objective control, and roles. How they approach those three pillars, however, are very different from one another and result in a vastly different gaming experience. Overwatch is probably the most well-known hero shooter out there after having a wildly successful run from 2016 to about 2020 or so before interest in the game started to fall off. So Blizzard re-released the game and dubbed it Overwatch 2. And it truly is a re-release of the original game, so there aren't a ton of new bits and pieces besides some ability reworks, a new UI, and a couple new maps and a new hero. For the life of me, I can't understand why we didn't see a boatload of new content since Overwatch 1 didn't really receive any real update for a long time after Overwatch 2's announcement. But anyways, Overwatch has heroes that are categorized into three distinct roles in tank, support, and DPS. The modes are almost all objective based in the unranked and competitive playlists. Gundam Evolution shares a lot of these same characteristics, but it differs in several key ways. Instead of heroes, it has mobile suits, and these suits generally fit into the same role structure or, suggested uses. Certain mobile suits are definitely better at certain things than other mobile suits. The main difference is that roles in Overwatch has a sort of rigid structure that you play 5-on-5, and on that 5-person team there's always 2 supports, 2 DPS, and 1 tank. A lot of the reasoning behind going from 6 to 5-person teams in Overwatch is to get rid of that extremely rigid, repetitive 2-shield meta that the original game was experiencing toward the end of its life cycle. I can't remember when that change to 5-person team was made. I think it probably was in Overwatch 2, but I can't remember. Anyways, Gundam is sort of more free-flowing in that the mobile suits aren't locked into roles. So, technically you could have a team full of supports or healers, DPS, tanks, so on and so forth. The team size is also 6-person teams, so that's one more player on each team to contend with. Gundam Evolution has similar game modes and similar map layouts, and at very first glance, Gundam Evolution plays very similar to Overwatch. You can tell exactly where Bandai got 90% of their game design ideas and structure from. It truly does feel like Overwatch with mobile suits. Besides the role and team sizes, another major difference between the two titles is optimization. Overwatch 2 is really well optimized at this point, and of course it is. It's been technically out since 2016, so it should be. It runs super well at very high frame rates. Now I've got a 3070 GPU and an i9 processor, and I get between 200 to 240 frames depending on how intense the combat is, but it really never drops below 200. Gundam Evolution, on the other hand, is terribly optimized when it comes to frames, which in a competitive hero shooter, it's kind of important to be optimized. I get roughly about 115 frames per second when I'm out of combat and anywhere from 70 to 90 when I'm in combat. Both games get the respective frame rates that I run them at, basically being ran at the lowest possible graphical settings. Because you know what they say, frames win games. Overwatch 2 is definitely the better developed game from a performance standpoint. It also, at least in my opinion, is a bit more visually appealing. Now let's discuss a couple miscellaneous things about both games. One criticism I have of Gundam is the map design. Some of the maps on the push game mode are very, very claustrophobic. They usually only have one lane to push down and no alternate pathways to flank or make any maneuvers to catch the other team off guard. Overwatch, I definitely think, has way better maps. Overwatch's maps are generally more snake-like. They've got side pathways, alternate routes, high, low. They've got verticality. They've got everything. Gundam Evolution, however, does seem to be a bit more casual-friendly than Overwatch 2. Gundam is definitely a bit more relaxed, and the gameplay, at least in my opinion, is a bit more forgiving. If you make a mistake in Overwatch 2, then you generally get punished pretty hard by the other team if they're any good. Getting caught out of position usually means death and putting your team at a very big disadvantage. Now, in that same vein, with Gundam being more casual, Overwatch 2 has a lot more strategic depth than Gundam. Some of this comes from Overwatch's much deeper roster of playable characters and the role structure, but a large part of it comes from the design of the gameplay and the heroes themselves. In my opinion, making Overwatch 2 a 5-on-5 game makes each player's choices in the game all that much more important. In Gundam, it's really like, who cares if someone runs off by themselves? They'll be fine, the team will probably be okay. Strategy and team play, however, at a premium in Overwatch 2. Overall, I say that if you personally enjoy these sorts of hero shooters, just play both games, decide for yourself. They each have their own pros and cons, and Gundam Evolution is at least very good at fan service it is seeking to accomplish. Overwatch is an industry juggernaut, and sometimes it makes Gundam feel like a budget version of the game it attempts to emulate. Gundam is a bit more casual and easy to get into, a bit more relaxed, and it does a great job at making each mobile suit feel unique and fun to play. But like I said, I really enjoy both games, so you should definitely give both a try and see what you like the best. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support I get on this channel. It means a lot to me. Please take a second. If you haven't already, please like the video. Please consider subscribing. Leave a comment. Every bit helps push the video and my channel to brand new viewers. All right, everyone, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.